Ladies and gentlemen, guys and guys, we back at it. Double Take Sunday. We're gonna do it, and today, the second video, we are going to talk about BRICS. What BRICS is, what's going on with BRICS, and what does it eventually come to the conclusion or calculation of. So, for those of you that don't know, BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. And it says, what is BRICS? BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Goldman and Sachs message connected to Rockefeller, BlackRock, and everybody else. Economist Jim O'Neill coined the term BRICS without South Africa in 2001, claiming that by 2050, the four BRIC economics would come to dominate the global economy. How interesting. They always got a timeline, boy. South Africa was added on the list in 2010. This thesis became the conventional market wisdom in arts. But there were always skeptics, including some who claimed that the phrase was Goldman Sachs marketing hype. Indeed, few talk about BRICS much anymore, at least in the terms of their global domination. Goldman closed its BRIC-focused investment fund in 2015, merging it with a broader emerging market funds. So, ladies and gentlemen, Goldman and Sachs had an investment in BRICS at one point in time, and they supposedly closed it in 2015, which is funny because Goldman and Sachs is connected to Circle, which is connected to USDC, which is a stable coin that is famously supposed to be taking over the stablecoin market in the United States of America. Key takeaways. BRICS started in 2001. It says the notion behind the coinage was that the nation's economies would come to a collective dominating global growth by 2050. And the party had largely, which doesn't mean entirely, ended by 2015 when Goldman Sachs closed its BRICS focused investment. Now, how much do you want to bet if you had money to drop like that that's not true? And how ironic that Goldman Sachs had the 2050 and we know about 2030 and the 2045 initiative. And I'm pretty sure if we go to look for sustainable development projects, Goldman and Sachs is involved. So, ladies and gentlemen, while you have these countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, saying that they're doing their own thing, it seems that Banker Daddy is right around the corner all the time. It says, ranked among the world's fastest growing emerging market economies for years, thanks to low labor costs, favorable demographics, and abundant natural resources at the time of a global commodities boom. It's important to note that Goldman Sachs' thesis wasn't that these countries would become a political alliance like the EU, European Union, or even a formal trading association. Instead, Goldman Sachs said that they had the potential to form a powerful economic bloc, even acknowledging that its forecast was optimistic and dependent on significant policy assumptions. Now, mind you, in 2030, O'Neill Goldman's colleague Dominique Wilson and Robert Persmusson, sorry, I got his name wrong, so sorry, followed up with their report, Dreaming with BRICS, The Path to 2050. Wilson and Perner claimed that by 2050, BRICS cluster could grow to the size larger than G6. G7 and G20 are a whole bunch of countries basically that create economical forecasts going forward. They're connected to the Trilateral Communion. They're connected to Bilderberg. They're connected to WHO, World Economic Health Forum, World Economic Health Organization. They're connected to the WEF, World Economic Forum. They're connected to the IMF, International Monetary Fund. They are connected to a whole bunch of groups that for some reason people do not know about. It says, and the world's largest economies would therefore look drastically different in 4 decades. That is, the largest global economic powers no longer would be the richest, according to the income per capita. What does that mean? They are saying that the United States will not be the big bad wolf going forward, or will we? In 2007, Goldman Sachs published another report, BRICS and Beyond, that focused on BRICS growth potential, the environmental impact of these growing economics, and sustainability of their rise. This is the report outlined the next 11 and emerging 11 economies in relationship to BRICS. It says the closure of the Goldman Sachs BRIC Fund. Growth in BRIC economics slowed down after global financial crisis and oil prices collapsed at the beginning of 2014. By 2015, the BRICS acronym no longer looked attractive investment, and funds aimed at these economies were either shut down or merged with other investment vehicles. Goldman Sachs merged at its BRICS investment fund, which was focused on generating returns for these economies. With the broader emerging markets equity fund, the fund has lost 88% of its assets from a peak 2010 peak. In an SEC filing, Goldman Sachs stated that it did not expect significant growth in foreseeable future in BRICS fund, the fund that had lost 20% in 5 years. Now, BRICS is used as a more generic term. Now, how ironic. I brought this up to, first of all, explain what BRICS is, and to explain that anytime you see a union or organization, a lobbyist, it takes money. Somebody's always funding something. And if you can see it on TV, somebody put their dollars in it. So we have come to find out that Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa's whole little economic group began its funding from Goldman Sachs, one of the biggest investment firms based in the United States, connected to the Rockefeller Rothschilds, and also Circle and BlackRock. Let's keep it going. Let's see. It says during the August 22nd to 24th, BRICS Group major emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, will hold its 15th Head of State and Government Summit in Johannesburg, South Africa. South African President Roosevelt and Chinese President Xi Jinping, Brazil's President Luis, Indian Prime Minister Modi are expected to attend. Russian President Vladimir Putin will not attend in person due to an arrest warrant issued by the International Crime Court for his alleged war crimes in Ukraine. Whoa, that's crazy. Putin will participate in the summit virtually and will be represented in Johannesburg by Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The BRICS expansion. The leaders are divided over the expansion of the bloc by adding new members, including admission criteria. Over 40 countries, including Saudi Arabia, Iran, United Arab Emirates, Argentina, Indonesia, Egypt, Ethiopia, have expressed interest in joining BRICS. Now, this is very major because what you are seeing is what I would call you cut off the head of one snake to create another. Now, we just read in an article before that the creation of BRICS was by Goldman Sachs, a huge investment firm of the United States. So when you see all these countries backed into something that they created, positioned, and propagated, what does that mean? It says China, seeking to expand its influence as it tussles with the United States over trade's geopolitics, supports BRICS expansion. Of course you do. While Brazil is skeptical. Ooh, Brazil's not looking too, looking a little wobbly, looking a little, shaky. Russia, hoping to overcome its diplomatic isolation over the Ukraine war, is keen on bringing new members, as is South Africa. India is undecided. This group is expected to discuss how boost local currency fundraising and lending within the new development bank, as so-called BRICS Bank. Local currency will use help de-risk impact of foreign exchange fluctuations, South Africa Foreign Minister Enoch said. It says the dollar has gained an emerging market currency since Russia invaded Ukraine, and the Federal Reserve begins to raise interest rates to fight inflation early 2022, making the dollar debt more costly for these countries to service. While the NBD, which was established in 2015, now pay attention. Now, if you remember, right, Goldman Sachs ended their investment in the BRICS investment fund 2015. Pay attention. is still looking at the potential use of alternate currencies. There will be no talk about a common BRICS currency during the summit, right? Then it says the friends of BRICS. In the last day of the summit, it is expected to focus on leaders from other countries, invitations to attend the summit with an expanded 67 leaders across Africa, Latin America, Asia, and the Caribbean, South African foreign minister said. France has expressed interest in joining the summit, but Russia was opposed to it because they support Ukraine. So they're like, nah, man, you can't come because you got beef with my ops, so don't even show up. Says particular attention will be paid to the relationship between BRICS African countries to tie in with the summit theme of BRICS and Africa. Now, one would say, right, just in case you don't know, China, no disrespect, I don't want no smoke, no hack, no nothing. Reportedly owns about 30% of the, media publications in the United States and 70% of the real estate, as well as a lot of property in the islands, Jamaica, Togo's, Trinidad, a lot of different places, and a lot of places in Africa. So how interesting that now that they're all super friends and Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and the Flash all want to come together and create, I guess what you could say, their own league, but based off of the money from a United States investment company. How interesting. Right? And this is the BRICS website. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. See right here. It says BRICS Summit invites 69 leaders, a step towards de-dollarization. It says in the line of the book, Pathways to the De-Dollarization, which explores BRICS as a rising power de-dollarization coalition. The upcoming summit is said to be the largest gathering yet. Right? So things they were talking about. Focus on the de-dollarization in national currencies. Bitcoin as an alternate. I doubt it. More than likely would be some of the coins that I talk about all the time. We'll get on that later. Challenging the dollar-centric world, which is about them getting off the petroleum United States dollar. But how does that work, considering that you were funded by the petroleum United States dollar? And a growing coalition, an anticipation for summit outcomes. So let's keep going. So what this means, all right, in all, and I'm gonna read this small little part because this is very interesting. It says the group's achievements involve establishment of a new development bank, NDB, in 2015 with a total capital of 100 billion, paid up to capital of 50 billion, equally subscribed by 5 members. Now, again, if you pay attention to a timeline, now all of a sudden that they were propagated and backed by Goldman and Sachs, they can pull their own money together of $100 billion and build up their sustainable projects in the de-dollarization and the combination of their institutions and countries. And it says, BRICS Summit, South Africa's role in leveraging opportunities to accelerate economic growth and strengthen the trade relations and feasibility of the common currency and expansion of BRICS and changing geopolitical dynamics. Right. And we are going to leave it there. So this is what BRICS is. BRICS has an event going on from August 22nd to August 24th to determine them being their own man. They're not little brother anymore. They want to they right. They wouldn't be little Charlo. They big Charlo now. You know what I'm saying? You can't just, you know what I'm saying, push them in the locker no more, pull their pants. They say they're tired of the United States and they doing their own thing. They do not want to be subjugated to our debt and our tyranny and our embassies. They're a big kid now, right? Interestingly enough, BRICS connects to the quantum financial system and will connect to XRP, XLM, XDC, Quant, Algo, IOTA, Cosmo, DAG, Chainlink, and a couple of other coins. And this will all be coming. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and goddesses, the point of bringing BRICS up is to tell you that your world is changing. It's getting ready to go upside down. I've talked from things about quantum computers, quantum digital parallel universes, flying cars, smart cities, to let you know that this is happening. Whether no matter how hard you believe in Sky Daddy or Jesus throwing thunderbolts of revenge or whatever you believe in, you want to call it Amen Tep, Amen Ra, whatever. If you're not out there in the woods surviving like a native indigenous person with no interaction with the therefore colonial, as they would say, white men or whatever that for nature, not the inciting race, you are entering a world where you will own nothing and be okay with it. And at the end of the day, it comes down to you're either going to be in front of history or you're going to be a victim of it. Of course, it's your choice. I have my crypto advisory contact information in the description. We'll definitely go from there. I'm signing out. You want my my PDFs, the Quantum Financial System Guidebook, or my book on gold and silver and what to look for and how to buy it. It'll be in the description. And this is me logging out. Now you should know what the basics of what BRICS is. Again, BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, a conglomerate created by Goldman Sachs or funded in 2001. They supposedly ended it in 2015, where from therefore after these countries backed themselves with $100 billion and now are based with all the countries that are kind of upset with the United States and want to do their own thing. And now you know how it applies to you. The de-dollarization of the petroleum United States dollar affects you. Signing out.